The awareness is extremely practical. And awareness is a highly qualified business awareness. So awareness doesn't eschew anything and say, oh, this isn't awareness, good business. That's not awareness. Awareness doesn't eschew anything. In other words, set it aside and say, oh, this isn't awareness. So anyway, when the button gets pushed, well, we've had this ongoing dialogue with the hotel staff here. They, at 4:30 in the morning, they come and take a shower in the room next to mine, and it uses my water heater, and then I wake up. So 4:30. And this is all fine and good, but we have asked them to not do that. But sometimes these things happen and people make a commitment and then they don't keep their commitment. So then your button gets pushed. The tailor, 10 years for who knows how many times this has happened. And each time there's the same reaction. Well, when that reaction comes up, to just stop, come to a complete stop and rest naturally. In other words, don't apply an antidote. Rest naturally is the spaciousness that is the entire basic reality of that button pushing, dynamic energy of awareness. That's all that's going on. But you see, if there's an antidote applied to that button being pushed, like, oh, I shouldn't have this feeling, that might be the antidote. Or, oh, he's poor, or she's poor, and I want to keep giving them my business, so they'll have money to eat. Or, there can be all kinds of antidotes, elaborations that are built on this. But when we rest naturally, we can't, just as the awareness is the essence of that point of view. There'd be no point of view without the awareness that is it. There would be no point of view. So why not get right to the core of the matter, and instead of putting an antidote in the way, which is just another point of view, like watching the breath or a higher self or whatever. So when there's just rest as the awareness that is the essence of that point of view, then you've reached the heart of the matter. You've reached the heart of the matter for all points of view. And in that dazzling reality of pervasive basic space, you know what to do and how to act. You just know what to do and how to act. And it's practical. It's totally practical. Well, as I said, awareness is very practical. And awareness is also very compassionate. So awareness, it might be that maybe a couple times you do that. But if you went then a third time and it was the same story, well, awareness would be finding a new tailor.
The new tailor also will be like him only, the previous one. All the tailors are very good.
Pardon?
The new tailor also will be like the old one only.
We'll see.
That's all it's going to take.
Well, when we rest naturally, there are all kinds of wondrous things that happen. When we no longer have amnesia, we no longer have amnesia. It's gone. We look in the mirror and say, aha, it's me. It's me as I really am. We no longer have amnesia, and we can't be brought back into a state of amnesia by any of our points of view. So these points of view that really afflict us, they're good. They're good to rest as.
What happened with your shower and the noise at 4:30?
Well, this again occurred last night, so we're having another conversation with them. Yeah. It just is whatever it is. But when people promise me something, I hold them to account for the promise.
That's no problem.
There's a lot of talk these days about enlightenment. Oh, it means not making any commitments. There's no doer, so who is there to make a commitment? Or, there aren't any commitments, so why make a commitment? Oh, this is just nonsense. It's just a total bunch of nonsense. Really, believe me, it's just complete nonsense. Pardon?
That's where it gets difficult, how to move with both things, to keep commitments and but not expect maybe others to commit to keep defeat them? I don't know.
Well, when you rest as awareness, more and more that immense power and force of loving kindness and compassion is all that's evident, not only for yourself, but for everyone else. But you see, we need to come to complete rest with all of our own points of view in order to realize the warmth of compassion that is the great reality of what we are. As we rest naturally and easily as the essence of all of our own points of view, we don't have to do anything to get compassion. We find it's inherent. We just feel a warmth that floods our body, our entire being, the warmth of compassion and wisdom and love and bliss. And it's total self-care, if you want to call it that. The best way to take care of yourself. And when you're taking care of yourself, then you're taking care of yourself. And in that way you can enter into relationship with others in a totally complete way, because in understanding yourself so completely, you understand everything and all as yourself. No matter what it is, as yourself. You know that just as you suffered so tremendously from point of view, that everyone suffers from point of view.
But you'll still make a decision in circumstances like these, or speak a little bit.
You just know whether to speak or not, or we definitely speak up. If we have something here at the hotel that we would like to see change, then we speak up. We speak up about the conditions of hygiene in the kitchen. We speak up about exactly how we want our rooms taken care of, exactly how we want our clothes washed, what we'd like to see occur here in terms of the noise level in the middle of the night. So we're very clear about that. And if promises are kept and then are made and then they're not kept, then we have another conversation. And if this would be ongoing, then we would find another location. So this is just the way it is. Awareness is very practical. I didn't say there's no emotion. I said there's no reaction. Awareness is point of view. So as long as we have a point of view and we then have another point of view that someone is responsible for the point of view we just had, then there's just a mess. There's just a big mess of confusion. But when we rest as awareness, then it's very clear that all points of view, no matter what they are, the dynamic energy of awareness. And there's no one reacting to anything. There's just a flow of wise action, whatever it is.
And emotion exists.
There are all these things that are described as emotion, but they're all awareness only. Like someone dies, there's grief. It's awareness only. It isn't something like the ogre or demon grief that's trying to get me or that's taken over my energy field. It isn't like that anymore. So that's what reification is. If we take something to be its label only and we spend our entire life inside a dictionary just floating from one label to the other, taking each label to be something and have meaning and having some kind of description about who we are and how we're doing things. But you see, once we realize that every single word in the dictionary has as its ultimate meaning awareness, and we're resting as that awareness which is primary in each point of view, and as each point of view is the pervasive basic space of all points of view, then there isn't reaction based on a personal identity that is somehow being confronted by something going on outside itself. It naturally becomes apparent that this is who we are. It just naturally becomes apparent. We already are it, so we don't have to do anything to get it. And as it becomes more apparent, we find in our way of being a much greater ease, no matter what situation we're in. So we're in all situations as that situation and without impediment. There's no impeding force or characteristic or quality of any kind in any situation. To relate to myself as somebody who feels something, that is so removed from me. That is just so totally removed. It's just, I can't even relate to when I lived like that. I know that at one time I did live like that. I'm a personal somebody. I've got all these emotional states and thoughts. These are who I am. And that led me to the brink of total despair. And I'm glad it did. And I'm glad it was a long time ago that I reached that point. Because, I could never find any solace whatsoever in my thoughts, my emotional states, and my reactions, and taking myself to be some kind of a figure who had all those things. And so, I came to the conclusion that all of those things, no matter what they were, have an underlying basis that is total relief. And that it's entirely up to me to be that relief or to be all the disbelief of unrelief that is the essence of living a life based on point of view. So I can't really respond to that question in the way that it's asked, because I don't take myself to be somebody who's comprised of a bunch of emotional states and thoughts. For me, all there is awakened awareness, a perception of complete lucidity that doesn't describe anything. And that's just the essence of everything, the great movie of everything that is. It's the essence. There's nothing separate. There's nothing separate in any way. So there's no way for me to describe that in relation to a supposed personal identity that has all kinds of things going on in it. The personal identity, the thoughts, the emotions, the sensations, the people, places, and things that the personal identity sees as other, all these are only points of view in awakened awareness. So the true identity is awareness, just awareness, and all we need to do is rest as that awareness, and everything I'm saying becomes more and more obvious. But unless we make that sublime choice to rest, then we can't possibly taste the reality of what we are. We'll continue to try to figure everything out, how to find solutions to points of view, how to find antidotes to points of view, how to make the whole world a point of view better. To see every point of view as a cause or an effect of some other point of view. So we'll live our entire life like that. But awareness is beyond that whole realm of cause and effect, but it includes it. When we rest as awareness, we find that reality of our being that's never been imposed upon by anything. There's no imposition anywhere. There's just the vastness, the infinite reality of what we are and nothing else. Just pure space, but even that's saying too much. Most of all, it's just the great reality that there's nothing going on. We've been spending all of our time trying to create some idea about what's going on when there's nothing going on. So what point of view does is it is constantly making nothing into something and something into nothing. It's like a magic show, an illusory display. Everyone's a great magician, making something into nothing and nothing into something. In the beginning of resting naturally, it's more important than anything just to rest and forget about all the elaborations, whatever they are, even wise action or whatever it is. just get familiar with rest. Don't put so much of a focus on commitments, actions, authority, all these other elaborations that come about. So now for you, you've already integrated many points of view as awareness. So that's already occurred for you. That's been very easy for you. But you have these points of view that have been very afflictive in your life, ongoingly afflictive. And so with these right now, it's very, very important for you to rest and to rely on the ease of the four comforts: the teacher, the teaching, the community, and awareness. It's extremely important for you to really rely on those, just to come to total ease, so that elaboration, rather than spinning out each time, it just gets more and more easeful, more and more effortless, and until there's only that ease and nothing else. And then you'll have the spaciousness to flow freely with whatever's occurring. Sometimes we have points of view like commitment or authority or whatever they are that are principal points of view that really get us stirred up. And so when it comes to those points of view, we've labeled something as commitment or authority. Then it's good for us to just rest with that and to really look into the meaning of those words, commitment and authority, that we've been using to elaborate points of view. Like, what is our ultimate commitment? To ask that. And what is our ultimate authority? What does that really mean? Rather than getting lost in everybody else's ideas of commitment and authority. You see, there's a flow of commitment and authority that is the direct expression of the exalted body, speech, and mind of awareness that can never be known from ordinary body, speech, and mind. And that's a level of commitment and authority that's unparalleled by anything that occurs within the realm of cause and effect. So this is what you want to familiarize yourself with. But these negative points of view, the afflictive states, they're the lions at the gate. These are the lions at the gate. Mark my words, they are the lions at the gate of enlightenment. The enlightenment that's already present. When you walk up to those lions, you have a choice. You can either hightail it the other way and go back to point of view land, or go through the door and say, "Nice little lions, here's some kibble for you."